your screen. Give me 1 second here. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Mike and John coming back again. Live here, going to talk about some options for video cards, upgrades that anyone can put into existing desktop, depending on your motherboard configuration, or if you're doing a new build like me, and I think John here soon. We're both going to be engaging in new builds. John? What were you saying the other day about your preference of AMD versus Intel? I know we were talking about, or said we were going to talk about graphics cards, but in respect to graphics cards, is that anything that we need to take in consideration when picking a processor when we're doing these builds? Do we have to take processor into effect with graphics card, or do they all kind of play nice in the sandbox together? Okay. And I did switch over to your screen. We're live now, John, with your desktop, so you can show me. Yeah, this is awesome. I have heard of this webpage before. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so I'm glad you're actually mentioning it on here, because I sure as heck wanted to try this out. Give me 1 sec, John. I am just messing with my webcam. Where is my webcam? Why is it not? Oh, hey, there I am. Okay. Ironically, I ask myself that all the time. Mostly at work. What am I? Give me 1 sec, John. Hey, John, give me 1 sec, man. I am having some definite. Oh, good. Wants me to show the clock. Goodness sakes. All right, we're just going to do display capture. Give me 1 more second, John. I apologize, man. All right.
Oh, good.
So now, I think I got it all set up. So, if you could you go back 1 screen for me, man? I'm sorry. It was all
good.
Again, lots of operator error getting going with this streaming stuff, but okay. So we're back here at PC Builds, and you've got the computer configuration up. So is this just checks for compatibility, like looks to see who's okay with whom, and make sure we don't have any Hatfields and McCoys?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to... I mean, basically, any chip you can put with any card. So that part's not really the issue. This isn't looking for necessary compatibility. It's just making sure that they both run well in tandem. So, again, you'll pick your card, you'll pick your CPU. And honestly, this is nice for when you're shopping to say, okay, here's some of the cards, here's some of the CPUs in the price range I'm looking to spend, and you can put them back and forth and do comparisons to see which one has the least bottleneck. And again, depending on budget, you probably have a few options to play with.
So this is comparing things like maybe things that we wouldn't necessarily look at, I'm guessing, like bus speeds between your you're thinking? Or,
Right. It's making it a much more simple conversation
okay.
than looking at all that. It's making it less tech and just basically saying, here's the percentage of the bottleneck you could have, and it'll tell you why it would be a bottleneck.
Okay.
But like for example, if we leave all my stuff in here and say, hey, I want to do 1440p gaming, I'm going to hit next. So it's going to tell me, hey, for general tasks, 0 bottleneck. We're perfect. We're right in that sweet spot. And it tells you here,
So this is
this will
telling
work
you
great together.
how much of a problem you're going to have, not how successful it will be. So this 0% doesn't mean go pick other stuff, noob. It
Right.
means it means no. It means from their stuff, like compatibility wise, that they're a good match.
Correct. And then, and that's for general tasks. So kind of like on the last page, you could pick what it's doing. So now it'll tell you if you're doing a CPU intensive task, what's the bottleneck. So again, they tell you anything less than 5 isn't really a bottleneck. Okay. So again, for CPU intensive tasks, we're good here. And then GPU.
And does it tell you which side is the bottleneck? Like if it were something worth fixing, will it say, oh, well, you know, right there, 2.1 of processor bottleneck.
Processor. Okay. You got it. So it does tell you which piece is the problem in this scenario.
All right.
And then GPU intensive tasks, nothing. So still, again, one of the best pairings you can put together, which is why I put it together when I was doing a more budget build. Because I went from going all out and building a $5,000 PC and having fun because I could. Ended up selling that because I had the itch to build another PC, so made some money, built another more reasonable PC for the things I'm using the PC for. Because again, while it was great, I had a i9 12900K. I had a 3090. My monitors only supported 2K, so it really left a lot on the table as far as I'm not using that build to its fullest.
Okay.
So it was nice to sell for a profit and get a more reasonable PC. Again, I'm not doing AAA gaming at 4K or anything like that. It's 2K max, but I haven't run into any games that I've had any sort of struggle playing, even on default or even slightly higher settings.
Well, and I guess that's something that I really need to go, because I know they have the people have done the. I could probably just watch somebody on YouTube, honest to God, but where people have gone in and said, okay, we tried it. You know, here's our settings that we tried it with. Here's our performance stats, our FPS. You know. All of that. But where I'm having an issue, because I'm so new coming into PC gaming, that I don't I everything is great, everything is shiny, everything is awesome right now, right? So obviously I want the, I'm gung-ho. I want to get the, the 5070 Ti card. I want to get the AMD, 14 gajillion. But
that's part of it.
But much like, I way overspec my computers for the office tasks that I do. Here I'm worried it's going to be very expensive if I don't appropriate, like I think especially with, I've got such a tendency to overbuy and I really try it. It's not a budget, but I'm really trying to have it be appropriate for what I'm going to do. I don't want to overkill, which is actually why I'm really that's actually the processor I'm looking at right now, that AMD Ryzen 9 9950X, the one we talked about.
And that's part of it. Like Micro Center does a great job putting the bundles together, saying like, here's a good, again, they're pairing the motherboard with the chip and memory. And again, you can kind of see here, you can upgrade to different things if you want to, and they still give you bundle deals. It's just, this board costs way more.
Yeah, definitely. Like
So
you
on
can
and
see
so
that
forth,
one's a
but
$500 board compared to the other
Yep.
one being $219. So
right. So they do a good job making these pairs and giving you options and affordable options. But again, going to buy this stuff outright, you're spending on average, like this one is $100 off. This one's $160 off almost.
yeah,
They do a really good job putting the bundles together and getting bundles that'll work in your price range, honestly. Like this $299.99 build would pair perfect with one of maybe the Intel Arcs we talked about earlier and still
okay.
give you 2K and all the things. Now, again, I'm snobby, so I don't like motherboards without the built-in
IO Shield.
IO shield. Thank you. I need the built-in IO shield because it's just nicer. And
yeah.
again, there's
like
more
that
VRAM
aesthetic.
cooling, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily gaining anything out of it other than aesthetics, so you just have to pair that back. Again, if you're strictly caring about price, these bare bones motherboards are great because you're going to miss out on overclocking, which 90% of people don't do. So
yeah.
it's great to have all the bells and whistles, but if you never use it, why pay the extra 100 or slightly more to do some of those things when you can get a board that still supports Gen 5 and all the things? You're just not getting overclocking support.
Right. And I mean, honestly, I mean, nobody wants to pull a motherboard out and rebuild their whole kit, but I mean, it could be.
Speak for yourself.
I was say it could be worse. Could be worse. So John, scroll up a little bit for me. Let's just take. I want to see something real quick here. So the second package down, the 9950X.
Yep.
So let's see here. If we go over to Newegg, do they have anything comparable in a bundle?
Find out. Oh, weird. Imagine that right in my quick links. It's weird how that works out. Let's see what we got here. So
I need storage. You to flip your screen back, John, to the one that has the PCBuilds.com on it.
Okay. Sorry, I tried to put them side by side.
So good.
Oop. There we go. Back here. Let's go here.
Did they have combos? Did they have
They do, and honestly, sometimes it changes where those combos live. Take a look around here for a sec.
Oh, there. Combo saving. One to the left.
Yep, there we go.
Ooh, I like this. This looks nice.
So it shows you the summary here. You can save what you can save from all of them. So again, for example, not that we're going to go with this, but what was one of the AMD chips you were looking at?
Well, I like that. Oof, it's expensive. That 7800X3D. I mean, everybody likes that. I was looking at the Ryzen 9 9950.
Ryzen 9 9950.
Which actually is supposed to be a better chip.
There you go.
And it is more expensive, isn't it? Yeah, what the?
Oh, yes. Yep. And now
it
shows you
better. I was looking at some crazy.
Oh, yes. Yep. So again, motherboards where you're going to save a good bit of cost for this, because you're going to see they're going to range from this 130, honestly, up to probably $1,000.
Sky's the limit.
depending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, depending on what you're doing, here's $700. This is going to be extreme overclocking and things like that.
So what's the size wise? I know we have what is it, the micro ATX, the mini ATX, the ATX, and then God, some of them look like they're like mega ATX now. And that one's ITX.
Yeah, like the ITX is what I actually have in my build.
Okay.
So let me see if we can get to it through a different page just to kind of one off this. This is the exact one I have. So you can see here, much more compact, only one PCIe slot.
Yeah.
Just to bring that size down. And again, all in the name of you can put it into a smaller and smaller and smaller case. Now, all your cases that fit normal size motherboards will obviously fit this. It just won't fill out the case maybe as nicely as it would being a full size board. But
Okay.
I'm rocking the Lee & Lee 011 Mini, which is one of their smaller cases. But again, I still have 8 fans running in it. I have the ITX board. I have my graphics card flipped vertically, so it's shown off. You can actually see the whole card, not just the side of it. So in that compact of a case, like, it worked out really nice because I'm hiding some of the small amount of dead space that's there with the vertical GPU mount before it hits the fan. So yeah, to your point, you can go the whole way from this mini ITX up to, I think, their EATX, I think, is the largest one. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, there's a ton of different sizes of motherboards.
Well, let's do a little mini build here then. Let's just do one real
Right.
quick.
The nice part with both of them, but honestly, for here, Newegg does have a PC builder. So if we go click on that, we're going to start selecting custom components. So what this does for newer people that are starting to get into PC buildings, this goes back to maybe something you said earlier, Mike, with this now checks compatibility. This will make sure this CPU actually fits the motherboard you're looking at to make sure this chipset, the socket, is all correct and they will all work together. It won't let you pick mismatching items for this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what did you want to start with, the 9950? Did you want to look at something else do?
Let's just start with the 9950.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's make our lives a little bit easier. That wasn't helpful.
Mm-mm.
Let's get rid of that. There we go.
Of course it's going to
There we go. Yeah.
Of course it was like, no, we're going to do them all.
There we go. So now we got our CPU. So now we're going to go next to our motherboard, and it's going to again list. This will only list motherboards that are now compatible because we picked a CPU first.
Okay.
So now it will show me only. So with this motherboard, the newest gen is the X870. I think you can go 1 or 2 gens below that.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was getting some very interesting audio feedback, so sorry about that.
Oh, good. We good now?
Yep, we are great, man. So let's go. That's awesome, man. I like this tool, man. It's got it laid out to where, like, max memory that you can put in there, the number of slots you have for it. This is great. It makes sure that you
memory.
I see it's got the chipset. So you, like you were saying, you can't. It's the machines or the program's not going to let you grab.
So in this realm,
let's just start by. Start with price. I wouldn't even, because I tell you right now, I am not spending more than I don't know, like I would say 150 is my max on this, and then maybe have an upper limit of one. Let's just say 200 is the absolute
200.
max upper limit.
Yeah. So to help with that, basically most of your X870 style boards are going to be out.
Okay, and what
They
is
have
that?
basically
What
there's
is
two
the
chipsets. Like the X870 is much more of the enthusiast overclocking higher end motherboard model that supports these chips. So the next
okay?
one down, and I'll say down, but it still works. It still gives you all the performance. You miss some of the overclocking features on some of them. But again, a lot of those things that you're going to miss on these lower tier boards are things most people aren't using anyway. So when they go up to these, they're like, oh, well, it's the greatest, so I want that one without knowing what they're missing or getting and not using it to its potential. So we're probably going to look at, I want to say it should be the B650 range, but we'll sort
Okay,
by price and see what pops up here.
cool.
There you go.
See,
Cool.
yeah, sky's the limit.
$830. So,
That was
and like we said, I mean, right here you can get down to an 89 or an $81 board.
it's impressive.
Again, it's well rated. It's 3.5 eggs out of 5, but at the same time, that's pretty good compared to even here's one for $100 that's even less rated.
Yeah.
But again, some of these, like this one, has a lot more reviews, so that is something to pay attention to. Like this one's going to swing wildly, way more than this one would
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
its reviews.
You got like two,
But
like that
again,
one with two. Yeah, you could have one
yeah,
person rated a 1 and one person rated a 5, and
yep. And then the nice part is here too. We're looking at like, okay, so to your point, like 139 was around your min. But if I look at this is also going to give me $30 off yet for comboing it with that
okay.
chip.
Okay.
So this does show you if there's offers with it, with some of the parts that you may or may not have selected already.
Well, yeah, because then that would change. You know, maybe there is like a $200 card that has a combo for
Yep.
some money.
And just for me, and again, I'm snobby with my aesthetics at least. I'm probably about as close to an Asus shill that you could be. I just think their products always come out looking the best. Their support has been, we'll say, suspect at best over the last couple years, and that's been a pretty big draw away for a lot of people. Knock on every piece of wood that I own, I've had no issues with anything I've bought, used, and had for a while. But I mean, in fairness, they're great looking products and they work really, really well. But just transparency, like I do know that there are some issues with some of their customer service things. And Asus includes, like, they have the Tough Gaming brand, which is kind of what they claim is like a more rugged brand. I fall in line with their Republic of Gamers or their Strix series. They just have the better looking.
I didn't know that Rogue stood for Republic of Gamers. I didn't.
There you go.
That. I had just seen like, oh, we've got the Rogue Ally, and we've got the like. I did not realize that was Republic of Gamers. All right, so let's try this then. On the left-hand side, let's check the option for combo up savings. I like that. Go up.
I make this a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
I'm up at the top. This is the first one.
Go to your filters on the left for me. And we're going to scroll up a little bit. And just check the combo up savings on or off.
Oh, yep. There you go.
And then, now let's see.
So, like, again, out of these two, you're going to look and say, okay, this one's $10 less, and I get another 10 off. That puts you at 119.
And they're both,
this is going to put you down to 109.
And they're both 650s. So, they're going to be similar in what they offer, right? Like, they'll be.
Yep. So, they're both DDR5, both the same chipset. So, the first one has a little less memory, but again, at most, you're probably going to run 32, maybe 64 gigs of memory. 32 is probably even overkill. That's what I run in mine. And that seems to be kind of standardish nowadays for gaming machines.
Okay.
But I don't even come close to using all of that memory.
Okay.
So them maxing out here is genuinely, as I would say, as long as you can get to 64 gigs, this isn't even a concern.
Okay. Let's see. I've seen that Tomahawk one in some kits for over on the Micro Center side.
Yep, Tomahawks are pretty good on the MSI side.
20 off, 25, 20.
Yep.
Yeah, see, we might be able to see. Hey, there's an 870 board right there. A couple of them. Keep going. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, you right here. You can definitely do it under the 200 range.
Yeah, well, let's do.
They're just not as common.
Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
that.
All right, so we got our board.
Let's get our cheapest shit.
Memory. So again, depends what you want to do here. Do you care about having RGB on it? Most times, if you don't, it'll be less.
Well, look at that. That's cool right there. That Corsair. That's got $23 off, and it's got RGB. Hot diggity dog.
So that's 6,400. That's not a bad kit.
What's the speed that the motherboard and the processor? What are they?
Go back. So here's what it shows as supports.
Everything.
So the one you're looking at is 6,400. Yep.
Okay. What about the processor then?
There you go.
No,
so 9,000 series.
The CPU. What series?
Oh, that's definitely gonna. This is going to handle better than what this can.
Oh, really?
Yep. So if we go down here, it's basically just going to tell you DDR5. It's going to run. I don't know why it specifies that, but it's going to run any of those that we see.
Okay. And how, like, upgrading the speed of the memory, how is it worth it to, like, go crazy and get, like, an 8,000, what was that, 8,000 megahertz, gigahertz?
It depends. If you're gaming at 2K and you're mostly using the computer for gaming, no. I mean, we watch a lot of guys do budget builds, and they're going, with like a 30, or I shouldn't even say, like a $45 kit of memory, and those are running games just fine.
Okay.
You don't need the fastest memory anymore.
So let's see what the cheapest.
So honestly,
let's see what the cheapest 64 gig.
Do lowest price, and then we'll sort by. We'll do 32 gig per module because you're only going to want to run dual. So, does it show me? Sorry. You want to run your memory in dual channel. You get the best speeds and support out of it.
There,
so
that's not that much more.
Yep, that's not bad. Or again,
look, no,
come down to here.
I'm pointing at my screen like you can see me.
Yep, Corsair Vengeance.
They got an RGB version of that bad boy underneath it. I bet you they do. No, okay.
They do, because I run the Corsair Vengeance, and mine is the RGB version, but it is more. It's like decently more expensive.
Yeah,
and honestly, for this
with $28
to be $28 off.
That's basically what the other one did have $23 off, but no, it's gonna be $33 off of this one. So cool.
So right now you've already saved about $63. Yeah.
Nice. Well, let's keep.
And the nice part is, as we go through this, it's showing us the wattage that your PC is going to use. So it helps us when we get to that part of power supply to know what we really need to look at.
Okay.
For this, do you want to go to graphics cards, or do you want to pick everything else out or see kind of what we are at?
Yeah, let's pick everything else and see where we're at. So the
That's
case,
typically what I do, just because you can build the PC you want, then figure out, okay, where am I at? How much do I want or can I spend on a
yeah.
card?
Or
And
do I
that's going
need
to
to tweak
dictate a
some
lot of things
stuff? Do
then.
I need to scale back?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it. So
Um,
this will be
for
a
me
little bit the hard
personally,
part.
I do not care about, like, this is my least concerned with component. So
Okay.
I'm probably gonna say like whatever the cheapest one that has some RGB in it that I can have fun with.
Um.
Wow, that's actually cheaper than I thought.
Oh yeah, some of these can get.
Nothing white. Let's go. Let's go with black. Let's keep going a little bit. That one did look kind of cool. That $40-something one, the one you were on, the black version of the white one that you were on. Yeah, that guy.
Was
But
there a black one?
right there?
This.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a blue one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah,
Let's
there's
stick
a
with
little
that
bit
one. You
bigger
only
of a
live once.
picture of it.
Let's pick the color one. Plus, it's $10 cheaper, and it's the same.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
So what I would do, this one doesn't come with RGB, but again, you could get a fan or two
It looks
because
cool.
you're not going to need a
This
ton,
looks cool.
and
I
you
like
can
the
put an
color.
RGB fan in it.
I like the
Yeah,
color case
for sure.
Yeah. Plus, my cooler, my CPU cooler is gonna
Yeah.
have. I can do that there. I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
skip.
storage next.
We're gonna skip because I have a glorious M.2 drive sitting right here
Okay.
that I will be donating, and I already have. I bought the getting way ahead of myself because I saw an excellent deal on Groupon. They had Windows keys for like something stupid like $13. So I bought myself one, and
Okay.
I bought myself a copy of Permanent Forever for 5 devices, Office 365.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a good deal.
I think OfferUp still, or Groupon. I'm sorry, Groupon still has it.
I may have to find that because I pay $99 a year for our Office subscription at home.
Oh no, I refuse.
I mean, I did for a long time, but here we are. All right, if we're going to skip storage, I want to wait on power supply till we decide maybe what we kind of want to do with a card. So next is CPU cooler. With as powerful as a card as you're looking at, or sorry, powerful as a CPU that you're looking at, you're going to need something beefier. So you can still do a fan and heat sink, which is basically what you typically see in a PC with just the fan spinning on top of the cooler. Or the water cooler kit isn't exactly what it sounds like. So that could be like a all-in-one pump and reservoir with a radiator that comes with fans. So like mine, I have an AIO that has a screen over the pump. So you have a screen over the CPU cooler. So you can do some really cool things with that. If you don't care about that, they do have cooler or AIOs that don't have that are cheaper. Again, or you could go with a fan and heatsink. But if you're going to go with a CPU of this magnitude, I would want some liquid cooling, even if that is like an AIO, which is again could be anywhere from $180 up, depending on what you want to do.
I think I saw. Let's see. Yeah, I think I was looking at this Corsair one already.
This one here.
Yeah, I was already looking at one of those.
Yep.
It was either that one or
Super good.
Or a 3-fan version.
So, right. And then like NZXT, these are really good. I've used these in most of my builds. NZXT, AIOs have been really good. But one thing to keep an eye out when you do this is you do need to look at your case to see what your case supports. So if we come down here to fan options, it's going to tell me, all right, so for the front, I could put 320 millimeter fans or 360 millimeter set of fans I can put in there.
Okay.
So for your AIOs, if it's 3 fans, you have to look to make sure they're 120 versus 140. Okay. But typically, this is going to be, okay, this can fit a 360. If I want to mount it on the top, I can only do a 2-slot AIO. So just something to think out and something to look. And again, here it specifically tells you radiator options.
Oh, good.
So
Up to
front is saying
240.
only up to 240. So probably because of how thick they can get with the fan and the
Okay.
radiator, it may not support because of the power supply tray. So they'll
Okay.
tell you can't go down that far. So to that point, while it can fit 3 fans, it can only do 240 AIO top or on the front.
Okay.
So if we go back to cooler, again, we'll kind of just sort down here. We'll want it to be, where's my AM5?
Because that's the generation, right, of the chip that we're putting in, of the
Correct.
processor.
And then you got it. And then I want my radiator to be 240. And then we can sort by price.
Oh, and check our has a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Can you scroll up and check the? Oh,
Yep.
Of course it doesn't.
So
have
they might not have deals on these.
those turds.
They do that from time to time.
Wow,
Like this one's
that's
kind of trippy.
Impressive.
You get some cool.
Oh, and it does a display of the. That
Yep,
I would
temperature.
really like having a temperature readout, or is that standard?
If they come with a screen, that's pretty standard. Even if it's a screen you can't modify much, that's pretty standard. Because if they come with a screen and you can't put like custom images and stuff on it, that's basically they'll show the specs of whatever you're cooling or that.
Okay. And I'm looking here. I'm like, it says liquid cooler, and I'm like, I don't see anything that says the fans, but it does. It does. It says it comes with the fan.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All of these will come with fans, and it'll show you if it doesn't, or it'll say like fanless, but that is extremely uncommon to not come with fans with these.
Okay. Well, let's scroll up. Let's pick.
Just as a really quick aside, these are brand new, and they're panoramic. So, like, if you look at this, the screen is it's a foldable LCD screen on the
funny.
cooler.
Huh.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Expensive, but pretty cool.
That is neat. All right. Let's go with.
The only thing I would say here is probably stay here or above. You don't want to skimp too much because if your pump dies, it could take out your CPU, which would be no go. Or they're just prone to failing or leaking. Mm-hmm. So I would stick with a reputable kind of brand. MSI is one of them, Corsair, so on and so forth.
Well, let's go with that MSI right there. You know what's funny is those cheaper Corsairs fell off. I don't know what happened. Oh, they probably because they were an incompatible size.
Yep, they fell off because of that. Or they were probably more because I think one of their cheapest ones is $140. So I wouldn't worry about an operating system. There's plenty of places to go get those for dirt cheap legally. I don't think you need any accessories at this point, like a mouse, keyboard, monitor, anything like that.
Power supply.
So you have storage. So
yeah.
Yep. So what I would typically do, I'm running a 750 watt.
What was our
so right now you're right around 430.
430. Okay. And I was reading the new, like the Nvidias that I was looking at are like 400 watt power hungry little piglets. So
some of them are even more than that. Some of them are like up in the 700 watts that they need.
I saw.
Which is insane.
Well,
what I would recommend around this kind of build is probably 850 to 1,000 watts is probably reasonable because you do need some overhead from the minimum that you need because there will be fluctuations. So I would
probably 1,000.
I would probably go to 1,000 because the price difference isn't crazy to go from 850 to 1,000. So right.
So what do you think about getting one that's a continuous wattage? Is that worth it or?
I would mostly care about the 80 plus branding of it. Um, as they get in the higher tiers of the 80 plus, the variance of power delivery is much smaller because again, you don't want wild fluctuations, which if it's not 80 plus certified, there's no control over what its variance is, and you could just fry half of your components at one shot.
Okay.
So as you go up from bronze, silver, gold, platinum, they all have less and less variance of power fluctuation.
Okay.
That's like the 80 plus is like its efficiency rating.
Okay.
So the one I have is an 80 plus gold. That's pretty sweet spot. Platinum's pretty high tier. Honestly, though, as long as it's 80 plus certified, you really don't have to worry. I would say don't go lower than 80 plus bronze. I wouldn't just say, oh, it's 80 plus certified. I would go at least bronze.
No, I like that little MSI Mag 1000 right at the top, actually. Fully modular, so
That's
it
a
should
great
help.
price. So,
Yeah, it doesn't
yep.
look bad.
So
This
what
other stuff that I was looking at was a lower wattage,
yep.
and yeah, I saw that too. So the upgrade
Yep.
ability is going to be on the mind.
Yep. So these come specifically, and you want to try to find ones that are ATX compatible, which this one is. It's 3.1 versus just 3. And that's because of the specific connector that comes on Nvidia cards now. There is a
Okay.
special connector on the higher tier cards that is only for the Nvidia side. It's not just a normal PCIe plug
No,
anymore. They're
it's like
proprietary plugs.
it's like a special like 8-pin power plug, right?
Yep,
Like it's a
correct.
6-pin
I think it's
plus
12,
2
but yes.
modular, something like that. Yeah.
That's what they were. So now they're like a 12-pin mini plug.
Are those the ones that were catching on fire?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. They fixed it, but yes, those were the ones catching on fire with it
Didn't
was
fix
mostly
it. They
the
didn't fix it.
well, it was mostly the adapters that people were coming out with were what was shorting things. It wasn't necessarily the cord, but some of them were melting.
Right.
But a lot of the founders cards were having problems with that.
Oops.
Yep.
It's not the one that I want to have a problem with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So $1,100. I'm happy with this. I'm not like stoked. I'm not
Where
getting,
you'd save the most money is right here.
Yeah. I'm not getting. I expected more for this price.
It's because of this.
Well, that and
You
my,
bring this
my
down.
mother. Oh, I'm like my motherboard is very expensive, but
Yeah,
it's got
everything
Coupa.
else is well within reason.
Yeah.
That CPU, if you're not pairing that with at least a 5080 or a 5090, no point in having it.
And that's really the plan eventually.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was seeing even people running the onboard graphics, it was still really impressive
Absolutely.
what you can do.
And that's part of it, because to that point, that's a great price point when you don't need to buy a card.
Mm-hmm.
Again, to your point, you can build up to buying the card, get all the other components you have, you can run it this way, game on it this way, and then put a card in when you're ready to go crazy.
Or get the Intel card now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And it may just be fine.
Yeah, I would imagine just for giggles. So if we say
Well,
and let's say
that one found the.
are we saying the
9950
B580? Yep, that's the one we're looking at.
No, the
Yours,
other one. The other one, like, totally thought like it didn't know you were typing in English. Like it just didn't understand.
Oh. Say we went with a B580 card, that kind of top tier. We're going to still do 2K.
Oh, hey.
So your arc is too weak for that processor.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right, which is expected. So again, same thing. It's going to be a graphic card bottleneck. If we go GPU tasks, it's even worse.
But I mean, that's what I got to look at. Like, I know I'm going over on the. I'm trying to future proof.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With the
Yep.
processor, and it's my understanding. I mean, they just came out with this Ryzen 9, right?
Yep.
So the likelihood that they're going to upgrade to a chipset that is a different configuration that I would have to upgrade a motherboard is low, I think, at this time.
Yep.
Like
So if you
I don't know
do,
when they're planning on doing, like, because I don't think it's like USB. I don't think they release the pin set revisions, like what they're anticipating. I don't think they tell people ahead of time, do they?
shortly ahead of time, not a ton.
Yeah, they're not going to be like, "Hey, don't buy this chip because."
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So to that point, though, what we just looked at on Newegg, coming back here with your memory, so
Well, let's
half of
try
the
the same
memory,
thing.
but
Let's
again, still a
bundle.
sweet spot.
Let's do it.
Well, that's
Hit the
what I'm going
number
to
with
say
it, and
is
let's
your,
yeah.
well, that's what I'm going to do. So on this side, I just calculated these three things.
Okay.
It's 895.64. Come
Oh my
here, boom.
god! It's
So
not
right
even
there's your $150 already.
man, and that's
So
what
that
I.
puts you right around that $1,000 price point.
Okay. Well, then that's. I guess we're going through Micro Center, and I'm gonna make John take a trip up there.
Damn.
I'm bending your arm right now.
Right, meow. Maybe I'll even do it during work time too.
Ooh. Well, I mean, if you
I
can make it.
tried. So, working in the IT field already, our company used to exclusively go get computers from Micro Center or go buy parts to build computers from Micro Center
Oh, I
as
didn't know
part of
that.
their workflow. But this year was our. I'm not even going to get into that because someone will figure it out if they ever go back to these streams, and I'm not going to give away too
Work
much information.
work changes. Not
Um,
doing it anymore.
but for a work thing, we were looking at doing a PC giveaway um, for our clients, just doing a custom themed build to our company. So we tried to reach out to Micro Center to see if we could get any sort of sponsorship, discount, something to
Yeah.
help with it. We weren't asking for anything free or anything like that, but um, we were hoping there was some sort of collaboration we could have came up with. But um, I would imagine for what do you see front facing, I really wasn't getting to the right people to make that happen. So it just kind of fell off the radar after a while because work happens.
Yep. I can now that I changed the. I probably should have done this sooner, but the screen configuration in the chat. So now it's all three, your window and then our two
Okay,
webcams are all equal size. I probably should have done that a while
nice.
ago, but oh well.
It
Got a good
happens.
view of a PC build.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a hard time beating the Micro Center bundles.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I think, on that note, is a fantastic thing to end it on. Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming along for the journey, watching me and John do a build out here. We plan to have more videos like this here in the future. Do some more digital builds, and then get to shortly. We'll be doing real life builds here in the next couple months, I'm sure. So keep tuned. Like and subscribe and all the things that we're supposed to say, and hopefully we will see you guys on the next one. But thank you so much.